Hello, Mr. Charles. How are you today, my man?
Good, good.
Did you enjoy your time at the farm?
At the farms, you mean the auction house?
Tell us about that.
Oh, that was really interesting. I mean, the first day I thought it was a little soft on day one, but it turned out to be a pretty strong sale itself overall.
I read something about some horse sold for, I don't know, a couple $1,000,000. Were you there for that one?
Oh yeah, I was. There was there a
Right.
couple there was a couple of them over 1 million. Let's put that away.
There was one I saw went for like 2.5 or some big number like that,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Big stuff. All right. Well, did you buy any $2.5 million horses?
just missed it just by this much.
So you were at 2.49.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're right there. Where else is right there? Is right there at the bottom of in the description here at YouTube. You will get our free picks today at Guaranteed Tip Sheet at Delaware Park. I know a lot of our friends in Turkey like Delaware Park. Race number 1, the 8-horse, 3-horse. Don't Tell Kelly 8-1, and then the 4-horse Soft Start, another 8-1. So maybe a nice trifecta. Open up your day at Delaware Park. That race is probably over already, Charles. So we can go on to the next one, right? Race number 2.
Yeah.
All right. So you ready to tackle? Okay. The most goofiest name of a track on the world, right?
Yes.
Belmont at the Big A.
That's whatever. That's what they're doing it. So
Should it just be
silly,
Belmont?
if you ask me.
Right. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with you. That's just nonsense in my opinion. All right. Well, let's try to make some sense out of the nonsense. Starting in race number 1, Charles, what are the particulars?
Okay, well, it's a 6.5 furlong. It's a maiden going first for 75,000. This is for 2-year-olds that foaled in New York State.
So New York bred 2-year-olds. The perfect kind of race to get started at Belmont at the Aqueduct. Charles, normally we do ourselves some simulations around here and some pace handicapping, but with all these first-time starters in here, the only thing we can do is a little bit of handicapping. And right now, that 4-horse that we both have on top is 1-2. So probably not a betting race for me, but nonetheless, we'll share our thoughts.
Yeah, probably not. Shouldn't be a betting race, but I did an ice cold. So, the 4 is my top choice here. This horse ran second the last 3 times, so it's been knocking on the door as a maiden. Well bet last time. Maker gets 16% with 2-year-olds overall. Rosario's aboard. I mean, you got a lot of pluses with this horse today, and it looks like he's ready to rock and roll. But the 6, even though it's a first-time starter, the dam gets 6 winners from 6 starters. One of them's a stakes horse. So it's totally bred for this. Solid works. And Maker actually trains that horse also. And then
you got the Maker double going right there, huh?
Exactly, yeah. Ice cold.
Ice cold Maker double. I mean, exactly.
Yeah. And then my 1 is my third choice. This one does have some speed. It's got the rail. Rail's getting 19%. Solid works. And then the 3-horse, a first-time gelding, has some speed, it looks like, and you got a hot jockey the last 7 days.
I'm going to start off with the 4-horse 2, Mischief Joke. Last 3 speed numbers were better than any experienced horse ran by a lot. Last 2 by huge differences. I mean, this horse is going to get pounded as we see at the window. Mama's Dream, the 6-horse, another horse this is a horse that has some nice back workouts, followed by some what I call saw sharpening maintenance works. You got Irad on there. Maybe this one upsets the 4-horse. Number 3, Perliano, improved early pace with better fractions and speed numbers in its second start. Trio of workouts between them. Maybe the 3-horse upsets that. And Fratellino scratches into the 4th spot with me with the 2 and the 5 on the sidelines. Mr. Charles was going to go with one of those longer shots. No bets for me in the first race at all. We'll go on to race number 2. We might have enough time to get through race 2 before. Let's see where they're at in race number 1.
They're out there just jogging around.
Yeah, they're jogging around. They're a little bit slow in New York. So let's go about our business for race number 2. I'll keep an eye out on the track, see if they bring him into the gates. If they do, then we'll switch on over to the race. What do you say?
All right. Well, race number 2 is a 1-mile optional claimer of 80,000. Purse is 105,000. This is like a small stakes race, huh? This is for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 18,000 3 times, other than maiden claiming starter or a state bred allowance, which have never won 4 races, which have never won $60,000 in 2023, or an optional claiming price of $80,000. There's a lot of angles to getting into this race.
You got a whole ton of stuff going on there, don't you, Charles?
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at the simulations that we have here for race number 2. We do 1,000 simulations using speed numbers to figure out what some fair odds might look like. You see that in this row right here. The lower the number, the better, kind of like golf. Over here, we look 1,000 simulations using early pace to figure out who will have the lead or what percent chance to have the lead at the quarter-mile marker. Speed is a big factor at Aqueduct. We'll talk about that in a second. And our own proprietary score, C-Zone, Charles. C-Zone recognizes how likely a horse is to get a comfortable pace relative to its best races in the past. And at 1 mile, early speed does pretty well there. 21% of the time they go wire to wire. Get a pretty big rail bonus at this distance. So the rail horse in here going to be, is that going to be business model? That one scratched out, right?
I think so.
So that's going to go to the 1A. No, that's going to, yeah, it's going to go to the 1A then. So Bold Endeavor could get an advantage there. As far as the 2 through 7, they play fair. Anything outside of 8, not a factor here, Charles, because they're not 8 horses in here. But early speed does make a difference. Who's got a lot of it?
Yeah, in the second race here, we got well, it looks like the 4, 43% chance, but I also do think that the 2 and the 3 are going to have a shot at that. They both have 25 and 27% chance getting that lead at the quarter pole. So either way, I think between those 3 horses, you're going to see the leader come out of one of those 3. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 3 that's just slightly over even money, and we have 2 to 1 on morning line. And we have the 6 at slightly over 4 to 1. And we have a 6 to 1 morning line on the 6.
All right. We also do pace handicapping, as I mentioned. So in looking at race number 2, you see here a pretty bunched up group. Nobody really wants to be on the lead. These 2 want to pressure. The EPs can pressure or take the lead. Got some versatility with the 2, 3, and 6. Those horses can be anywhere on the track. The 4 horse wants to close, Sheriff Bianco. But if you see here, over in the early pace, not only does the 4 want to close, but it does have some of the best early speed in there. That's what we call a left arrow horse. Closer that typically wants to be in the back, but early today going to be close to the front. A lot of upsets come that way. Our late speed goes to Uncle Moonlight, the 6 horse, the pressure closer type, but really not much difference between any of them except for Baby Yoda, who at one point was a stakes horse. So I don't know, that one's fallen off a bit. Our total pace score goes to Sheriff Bianco and Best Actor, Uncle Moonlight. Pretty competitive race between the 3, 4, 5, and 6, Charles. How do you line them up? Let's take a look first what's going on in race number 1. Okay, they're off in race number 1. We'll make our picks for race number 2 in just a second. As the babies get off, and that 3 horse, Charles, is taking the lead. The 4 horse is sitting there second at 3 to 5. And then you got to the outside of that, the 6 horse, and then the 7. The only horse that's really not in contention from the get-go here is the 1 horse. Looks like right now the 6 horse is dropping out of the mix. It looks like the 7 horse is going to take over here, Officer Derek. It's got the 4 horse up in there. The 6 horse is being patient. The 3 horse is starting to fade a little bit. But the 7 horse is really keeping the task to the 4 horse there, starting to pull off a little bit. Question now is, can your 6 horse get in there for second, Charles? It could be a tough task. I think the 6 horse is done. That means the 3 horse now, it's the one making the move up the rail. That's the only one that's probably got a shot to go get that 4 horse. The 4 horse does look like he might be tiring a little bit on me there, Charles. The 3 horse is trying to make up ground. Yeah, the 7 horse. Yeah, the 4 horse is your easy winner. It's going to go, looks like to me like 4, 3, 7, although the 7 is trying to re-rally a little bit. That 7 ran pretty good opening race there. So kind of circle maybe Officer Derek on your horses to watch list. Put that horse on there because that race, it kind of ran, made a move, kind of flattened out a little bit and then tried to make a move again. So that might be something you want to keep an eye on. But that 4 horse made easy work of the opener. Yeah. All right, Charles, we went through the pace. Who's going to make easy work in race number 2?
Well, and number 2, I like that 3 a little bit there. It's got it has speed. Third start after a layoff. Cox gets 23% with that angle, so that's not too bad. Well bet last time. There's a lot of good things about this horse in this race. So I like that one on top, but the 4 ran third last time out. This horse does have some tactical speed, as it shows that it could even go lead, could sit right off of him. You got the Jose Ortiz and Linda Rice combo. They came off a very hot meet up there at Saratoga. So they're trying to carry that over here. The 6 horse is an interesting horse in my book. I think this is the one that you got to really keep an eye on. This horse does have some speed. He can go to the front, but he's more of that tactical speed, and he's got the good closing part of his speed. So I think he's going to be dangerous if he sits second or third. Ran second last time out. This is his second start after a layoff, so it puts him right there in the contention. The 5 horse is my final pick here. Ran second the last 2 times. He got a hot jockey last 7 days aboard, and it's the second start after a layoff. And Richard Dutrow gets 13% with that angle.
Not bad at all. You got to pick 4, a little bit hot doggish pick 4 right there with your $100 budget.
Because I think it's going to be a lot of favorites, or at least co-favorites. So it's a small one. Yeah, my top 2 picks in the first 3 legs, and then I'm going for the top 3 picks in the last leg.
I'm going to go with the 4 horse like you. Sheriff Bianco. No, not like you. I'm going to go back-to-back 4s. I'm going to go opening double 4-4. Sheriff Bianco, the horse loves himself some Aqueduct. 10 times out, 4 wins, 4 seconds, 2/3. It's got a pair of seconds in 2 races at the distance, some close seconds in there. The only question for me is horse turning around in 6 days. What's going on there? Number 5, Kinetic Sky.
6 days. This horse, I mean, actually is a hot horse since she's claimed this horse, and it's been a while back since she's claimed it. And this horse has performed so well for her in her barn. So I think the horse is just ready, still probably busting out of the barn, ready to rock and roll.
Kicking and screaming, wants to go to the track. All right. Number 5, Kinetic Sky, making the second start after a layoff. Should be as good, maybe a little touch better than the first start after a layoff. At least that's what the resume says. And if you look at Aqueduct, another one, 100% in the money at Aqueduct. 7 out of 8, 2 wins, 3 seconds, and 2/3. 87.5% in the trifecta. Uncle Moonlight, the 6 horse. You got speed. You got Kendrick. Check, check. And then you got a horse that likes the distance too. 8 out of 9 in the money with 3 wins, a couple of seconds, and 3/3. Finally, number 3, your top pick. Charles is my 4th pick. Third start after a layoff. It's the first time in this horse's career it's made it 3 horse races in a row without a break. So I wonder if maybe it could be a little leg weary since it hasn't gone this far yet. Very consistent performer that makes really big mid-moves during the race. In the last 5 races out, it was facing Stakes Company. But as you mentioned, Charles, with that $105,000 purse, this is essentially a stakes race. So is it really a drop in class then?
Probably really not, but it kind of is a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, on paper it is, but probably not for real. Race number 3, Charles, is what we're going to venture to do next. What do you see here?
Yeah, race number 3. We got a mile and an eighth. Allowance of $25,000. Purse is $52,000. This is for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never started, for the claiming price of $25,000 or less in 2023.
Yes, just claiming price of 25,000 or less. So we just might not put under 25 or less than 25,000 anyway. Don't see the reason for the or. I guess they don't have any editors at the at Brisnet. Or whoever writes the
That'd be the racing secretary.
Yes, racing secretary. Pick up an AP style book. It could help you out a little bit. All right, in race number 3, looking at the profile of a winner of it, a mile and an eighth on that track. There's been 11 races. It was in the last Aqueduct meet, or last Belmont at Aqueduct meet anyway. Early speed did pretty well. In fact, 5 out of 11 times. The horse that got to the lead also got to the winner's circle. Very strong rail bias for Portos, that one horse. 2 and 3, they play under par. 4 through 7 play fair. 8 and out, Charles, you get a pretty big bonus. I don't think we're going to deal with 8 and out again. So what you're looking for in this case, if you have any in race number 3, Charles, is a little bit of inside, giddy up, and go.
Yeah, and you kind of really don't. Well, you kind of do. The 4, I mean, it's a 7-horse field, so The 4 has got a 43% chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole. And, I actually see that probably happening. They also put on here, we have the 3 at 35%, which will probably be pushing them along a little bit. But you know what? I'm going to say watch out for that 6 a little bit. That 6 has got that scary speed, more like tactical, but it can keep up. And then when it comes to simulation odds, we have that 1, 3-1. We got morning line of 5-1 in this contest. And then we have the 5 at even money, and you have 2-1 on the morning line on that one.
And we got a pretty good street C zone here. I like when I see a horse that has a good shot to get to the lead and then has that solid C zone score, because that tells me the horse is not afraid to be up on the lead, not going to be intimidated. And the more it gets the lead, the higher his confidence will grow. Your 6 horse, if it gets the lead, likes to pace anyway, should be happy with the way this race plays out as well. How does it play out from a pace setup? Well, look at this. The 7 horse is a lone E horse. So if Mystic Knight could find its way to the front, it's probably the one that would gain the most confidence. I don't think it's going to be there. Everybody else is in this 3, 4, 5, 6 is in that anywhere on the track zone. And then the 1, 2, they want to close. Looking at the early speed, the 3 and the 4, those 2 stand out from the rest. The 4 a touch better than the 3 horse, and considerably better coming down the stretch with a 10-point margin. So the speed of the speed looks like the 4 horse to me, at least the one the most stamina. As far as late speed is concerned, Charles, that 6 horse, the one that you like, does have a stakes caliber late pace number. It's a pretty good number there. And also has the top total pace number. You got this 4, 5, 6, and 7 in there as your top 4, maybe a total pace trifecta.
Well, we'll see on that, but I really do like the 6 a lot. I think the 6 won last time out with tactical speed. And then, like I said, this one could be sitting very close. And way the kick that it has at the end can put him really make him a dangerous horse here. And Kendrick stays on. So Kendrick, as everybody knows, is more like a speed jockey.
He told us in our shows when we've had him on Horse Center and on our Players Edge podcast, he wants to be up front. So he's going to go up. He's going to try to push. My concern with Kendrick is when he's not up on the front, he's not as strong a closer as he is front runner.
Okay. Well, I think he's going to be close enough where it ain't going to matter.
With a horse like that, with the 100 on the back, I would love to see Trevor McCarthy ride a horse like that, because I feel like he's exceptional at saving horse to the end and using that horse at the end. But in any case, you like the 6 Kendrick front. If he gets to the front with that late pace, you ain't going to catch him.
Yeah. And then my second choice here is the 7. This horse, an interesting horse. This horse is now dropping in class. You got a hot jockey the last 7 days now aboard. This is another one with some tactical speed, but this one has to sit close pretty much throughout the race to have a chance. Trainer gets 18% first after a claim, so that's not too bad. And then the 1 is my third choice here. Ran second last time out. Another one that's dropping in class today. The rail gets that 28% at this distance, so look out for that. And then the 3, one last time out. This one will be closing, I believe, much better, but it does move up in class. So there's the big question mark. Can he handle this class level? But if he can, this one will be flying late pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And you have a $5 exacta box with the 6 and the 7.
Correct.
I like the 4 horse Classic Mark. I think that one's going to be the pace setter in here, Charles. It shows up as the pace setter both in our simulations and in our pace scenarios. Good advantage over the rest of the field and much more late legs than the 3. So Classic Mark, chance to add to that 5 of 11 going wire to wire at that distance. It's too big of a speed advantage and a limited number of races to ignore. Number 7, Mystic Knight, making the Classic third start after a layoff. The other time the horse made a 3-race cycle, at least most recently, it was the best of the 3. And this horse really has put some good work in an Aqueduct. 4 races, 3 wins, and off the board in the other. Looking at roses, this one is a track riser, the 5 horse. So looking at that, it's a step. I think it's coming in from Delaware, so big step up track wise. But if you look at the last speed number, it's 5 points better than the next closest horse. You got IRAD riding, so I guess IRAD feels like that track rise is not that big of a deal. And again, was reading, and I have to say, so far, I haven't picked up a whole lot out of this book, just a couple of things. But Andy Byers on speed with some new racing angles in there. Some of the homework that they did. Any horse that has a 3-point advantage over the rest of them tends to generate a high win rate and a pretty good ROI. And then finally, the 1 horse Portos was a tough call for me over your 6 horse Charles, but it's dropping from a non-graded stakes race. And if you look at the 6's efforts at Aqueduct, has run there 5 times and has not hit the board yet. So maybe an anti-horse for the course. I'm going to do an exacta hay box. Key box. I don't know why. I must have been wondering where Terry is today, but that's supposed to be a K. So with the 4, with the 1, the 5, and the 7, maybe I should throw the 6 in there as part of the mix. Next race for you and I to try to agree to disagree on is the 4 horse. The fourth race.
You keep on getting that 4 horses in your head.
Yeah, I got 4s across the board there.
Yeah. Well, in this 4th race, it's a 1 mile on turf optional claimer of 80,000. Another one that has a purse of 105. This is for 3-year-old and upward, which have never won 18,000 3 times other than maiden claiming starter, state bred allowance, which have never won 4 races, which have never won 60,000 in 2023, or optional claiming price of 80,000.
So a mile on the grass. I think the turf is firm. They haven't rated it yet, but I'm guessing the turf is firm because the track is fast. They ran 14 races at a mile on the turf at the previous Belmont at Aqueduct meet. And of that, tactical speed did fine. You kind of want to be in the stalking position, although it looks like 29% of them went wire to wire. So it's probably 3 out of 14 went wire to wire. The rail has really suffered, was a big penalty at the 14 races so far. 2 and 3, they actually did pretty well. 4 through 7 were absolutely terrible. I mean, just horrible. And 8 and out, you got a big bonus. So it looks to me like, Charles, you want to, just based upon that, you probably want to just put 2 and 3 at the top of your ticket because there aren't any horses that go past number 7. So what do you think?
Well, when it comes to the simulation speed, who knows? A lot of speed in there. And I mean, I personally think the 6 is going to take the lead. And it's got the highest so far right now, 7%. But, you know, you got plenty of speed in this race. You know, the 6 does have speed, like I said.
They all show some chance to be on the lead except for the 2 horse. Kurmata.
2 horse. But so I think between the 6 and 7, one of those are going to have the lead at the quarter pole. You have the 2 horse at what is that, about 4 to 5, and you have 2.5 to 1 on morning line. So that's not bad overlay right now. And that 5 horse slightly over 4 to 1. We have 8 to 1 morning line for an overlay there.
Yeah, certainly it looks like a couple of them could be really happy with the way this race shapes in terms of pace early on. Win from within, scoring a fairly high C-zone score. So the 6 horse should be the most comfortable with the projected pace of this race. The 1 and the 2 will be right behind them. Everybody else might find it a little bit stressful today. As far as the pace shape is concerned, pretty balanced race in here. Got the 5 as a lone E, but that doesn't necessarily mean much unless it absolutely gets to the lead. Looks like it might not get there without going a little too hard. 5 goes forward, could find itself in a difficult spot because the 6 and the 7, your 2 EP types, the ones that can press the lead or take the lead, they're agnostic in that regard. Those 2 will be the ones that can challenge for the front early on. Looks like the 2 horse here as a PC type, Charles, though it didn't show up on our simulations, it won't be that far off the mix either early on, so should be right where it wants to be. 5 horse, again, if it goes too fast, could struggle a little bit. On the way home, Cazadero does have the top late pace along with the 3 horse, Tut's Revenge. If we look at the total pace, this race looks like it's another very competitive race, Charles. Only the 4 horse, Duke of Hazard, not really fitting in as the closer. Otherwise, everybody else is within 4 points of one another. This race is absolutamente wide open.
Yes, 100%. And but I do like the 2 on top, though. Third start after a layoff. Brown gets 26% with that angle. I think this horse has that tactical speed. I think in this race to you need to have, especially after the what was it be the 7 horse? Well, actually, it would have been the 8 horse, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was scratched. Whatever.
Well, there's the 1A that got scratched.
Oh, it was right. It was my 1A. I'm sorry. You're
Mhm.
right.
The
1A that was
entry.
scratched.
Entries
Anyway,
on the sidelines.
yeah, but that one had a lot of speed. But now you got plenty of other speed. So, and who knows who's going to push who? So I think this horse could be in the perfect spot for that tactical run. He ran third last time out, and you also got Pratt aboard. So Pratt and Brown, that's a nice combo. My second choice is the 4. This horse won last time out. This is another horse that has speed. He has to stay close to win. No, he cannot come from far behind. He doesn't have a great kick at the end. So if he's close, he's going to be dangerous. If he's not, see you later. Maybe next time. Kendrick stays on this horse, so I think he'll keep that horse up front or close to it. The 6 horse is my third choice here. This one has speed, drops in class today. You get that 7 pounds off with Apprentice. So there could be the big question of who might take the lead. This one might be the one winging it because that 7 pound. Trainer gets 22% with 90 plus days of rest. So you got a fresh horse there. So look out. The 7, the 7 now, this horse ran second last time out, has some speed. Jutro gets 25% with first time after a claim. He's just now getting heated up after coming off his long suspension there. So here he comes.
It's getting back to work. We got Christopher D'Souza in the 4th race, going to go with the 1 horse, the closer. Cazadero, that's his pick. One that you and I don't have in there, Charles, at all. We both like the 2 horse as our top horse. I like the 2 horse in here for probably the same reasons, Christopher, that you like the 1 horse. When you look at the 2 horse, Karamatur, making its 3rd start after a layoff. The only other time the horse made it 3 races in a 3-race cycle, it was by far, by a wide margin, the best of the trio for that horse. You're going to get a slight alpha angle in here for trainer Chad Brown as well. Normally, it's about 3 or 4 points better than his already high hit rate. Call Me Harry. He's going to try to go wire to wire, I feel like, in here, Charles. But he's going to probably duke it out with that 6 horse, Win From Within. So I'm going to go. I think Javier Castellano is riding the 7 horse. So I'm going to go with the underrated turf jockey over the 6 horse, Win From Within. If the 7's not on the lead, the 6 will be on the lead. This one is like the distance too, 3 times out, 2 wins, and a weight break. And you got the apprentice jockey on there. So that's what, and sometimes when we talk to jockeys that are kind of new to the business, one of the things that they say, it's kind of difficult or more difficult for them to figure out turf racing than it is to figure out dirt racing. So that's why I gave Javier and the 7 the nod on that speed duel up front. And then finally, the 3 horse. This is one that I think fits right in with your thinking too, Christopher. Tons of speed in this race. There's no question about that. But this one's tied for the best late pace with the 1 horse, Cazadero. But that Cazadero has got that rail, and the rail has just been not good at all. So that's why I went with the horse that's a little bit more to the outside. And I'm going to take Joel Rosario. $1 trifecta. I do think the 2 is going to win over to 3, 6, 7, over to 3, 4, 6, and 7. Maybe I should have tossed the 1 in there too. But we'll see when the race is over, right, Mr. Charles?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. And if, like Christopher, you have some thoughts about Belmont at the Big A or any other track that's running today, tomorrow on the weekend. Speaking of the weekend, when we hang up on here today, I'll be getting to work diligently on the Pennsylvania Derby wagering guide. We'll have that available tomorrow over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. With all the races that we do there, man, I expect that we should be prepared to go ahead and fare well in a 9-stake race card. So it's a pretty big card out there in Bensalem, PA. All right, Charles, let's try race number 5 and see what we find to our liking in the 5th spot, the absolute middle race in the 9-race card.
Yeah, in the 5th race, we have a 6 furlongs. They're going outer turf. This is a purse of $90,000. This is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
Yes,
now that one was simple.
That one is easy. You didn't run out of breath in the course of finishing that sentence. At 6 furlongs on that outer turf course, what you want to see is early speed 32% of the time, the horses that got to the front stayed to the front and cashed the big check. Got a major rail penalty here. So Madaquet's Arrow might not like where it's going to be positioned this race. 2 and 3 play under par. 4 through 7 really do the best. And 8 and out, again, you get a little bit of a ding in there. So it looks like you want to wear a 4, a 5, a 6, or a 7. Charles on your back. And it looks like a little bit of early speed might do you well as well. Looks like the early speed belongs to the 7.
Yeah. That 7's got a 45% chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole. But you know, that 12 might just have a say in this. And, you know, coming from that outside post, might have to gun it and try to push that 7 along.
So Billie Jean instead of Billie Jean, right? It's a play off Michael Jackson stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the Billie Jean's sister. The 1 is, I think, is another horse that could actually take the lead too. So look out for that 1 on that pushing on the front end. When it comes to simulation odds, we have, let's see what we have here. The 7, almost even money, and you got 6-1 morning line. That's a nice little overlay.
Yes,
so
indeed.
The 10, you got 14-1, and you got 20-1 morning line. So that's not bad overlay either.
A little bit of value in there. There's a lot of dark green in here. Looking at some of the speed horses, Hey, and what should be happy to be up on the front. Big overlay too. So you got kind of a trifecta of simulations here. I always kind of like that. And again, you got another horse in here with Billie Jean's sister, who will be up towards the front and will like that as well. So could be very comfortable. Jeff Cernick says, throw out that 1. Don't worry about the track bias. Throw out that rail stinks. And Madaquet's Arrow is pointed toward the winner's circle if they're going to close today. Pick 5 single at Presque Isle Downs. Race number 3 likes the 5, 6 in the exact. And are you singling the 5 at Presque Isle, or are you singling the 1, Jeff? I'm kind of curious about that. In race number 7, in this race, he likes the 7, Tis a Grant, in race number 7. That's a few races away. We'll get to that one in a minute for Christopher D'Souza. I like the 3 horse here in this race number 5, Material Witness. Top last race speed figure by 12 points. That's a huge gap.
We haven't gone through all the ratings of this race. You didn't go through the stats.
Oh, I got to go through the other part, right?
Yeah.
Through this part here, Charles?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm a little bit. All right. This is a pretty balanced race. Sometimes I get a little lost when I put the comments up where I'm at. The 2 and the 5, Sea Witch and the 5 horse, Next, have not been within 5 lengths of the leader. So maybe you could take those 2 out of this deep field. The 4 and the 8, they're going to try their luck for the first time. You're not quite sure what they're going to bring to the table. The 7, the 9, and the 12, they absolutely want to be up front. Let's see if any of them have that juice. In fact, the 7 and the 12 do. Material Witness, that one's going to be in the mix as well. On the late speed, when they're coming home, Catskill Humor is the one that has the most late speed, a pretty good advantage, 6 points over Fancy Stacks and Isola. Then finally, our total pace numbers, they stack up with the Hey, that pace setter. Should have enough to get to according to total pace, to get the job done. You got a lot of outside horses here where the outside bias doesn't work. Let's see if they can overcome that. But it is a pretty competitive race, except for maybe the 5 horse. I'd say at least down to about here. It's a pretty open race again. Not surprising at all, Charles, considering the conditions. Now we get to do our picks. What do you like?
Yeah, now here today in this race, I'm going to say this is my price horse of the day, the 6. This horse ran 3rd last time out, and Motion gets 18% on their second race, and Pratt jumps aboard. So this horse, I like the way it ran. It's a race, and now it's coming into this one. I think it's setting it up for this horse, and you're going to get a really nice price. I think it's going to stay right around 10-1. Take that, and I would definitely put some money across the board on that one and use it in all exotics. But the 1 is my second choice. I think this one has enough speed to sit up there 2nd or 3rd. If all else fails, doesn't get the lead, cuts back in distance. Weaver gets 19%. Weaver's been hot in the last couple of weeks. The 3 horse ran 3rd last time out, drops in class today. 3rd start after a layoff. Trainer gets 17% and 19%.
A lot of 3s there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
19% with the second time with Lasix. So look out for that horse. And then a first time starter, a 4, bred for the turf, solid works, Todd and Irad combo. You can't beat that. But that's why I'm doing a pick 5, and I'm taking my top 4 picks here. But I think there's going to be a price in here somewhere, maybe, and I
Mm.
believe it's going to be the 6.
And then you're singling up that 5 in race number 8. And we'll talk about why that horse is not
That's
going to
right.
win when we get there, Charles.
I love
And
it when you say that. I love it. Thank you
mm,
for guaranteeing it now. Thank you.
well, it's not going to win, Charles. And I'll tell you why when we get to that race.
All
I
right,
like the
I'm
3
waiting.
horse. Yeah, it's just history.
I'm just waiting for
Number
you to just this dream of yours that you think you have me again. You've
No,
tried
I
this
don't.
a million.
Hey, I don't think I have you. I'm just going to tell you why I think it doesn't win. Anyway, Material
Okay.
Witness, the 3 horse in there, the top last race speed figure by 12 points. All other horses have to come up, or that one's got to come down. Probably going to get hammered at the window. I think that the algorithms will pick up on that. The 7 horse Ula Hay, the only other experienced horse that does have the back class that can compete with that speed number put up by Material Witness last time out. Going to be on the front. Also, one of your top total pace horses in there. Number 4, only you only live once, Charles. It's a first time starter. Does have some nice backwards. Would have liked to seen a bullet in there, but some pretty quick ones. It has a few maintenance workouts after that. I can't imagine that Irad's going to jump on a first-time starter if he doesn't have some insight. Then finally, number 10, Fancy Stacks. That one could run back to its debut, which debuted, went on break, first time off a layoff, last time out. A little bit of a regression in that race. But a bounce back to the debut is more than good enough to be competitive, if not win here. That horse is 20-1 morning line, as you mentioned, Charles, with a little bit of an overlay. Should be 15-1. I'm going to do trifecta 3-7 over to 3-4-7 over to 3-4-7, 10, and 12 in that race number 5. Looks like it's post time, Charles, for race number 2. Let's rewind back to race number 2. Right now, the 3 horse, the chalk player, Charles, on top at 7-5. Next up on the board is the 5 horse.
Okay, wait a minute. First, come on, chalk player. Are you kidding
chalk
me?
player Charles?
That's why
what do you guys think?
Pick 4. I mean, look how small that pick 4 is.
Chalk player Charles. All right.
I
Speaking of chalk, Jeff says in the Presque Isle Downs, the 5 horse, going to be 3-5 or less, but you're going to want to single that one in at pick 5. Christopher D'Souza over at Churchill Downs in race number 2 says, make sure you keep your eye out on the 6 horse. Tis My Hero. Certainly talking about me, not you, Charles, in there at all. And in race number 5, likes the 2 horse at Belmont and Aqueduct, win, place, and show with the 1-4 exacta box. In race number 2, again, we're going to be looking at the we'll be looking at the race in just a moment, as it looks like they're going to start entering the gates right now. As the unscratched part of the entry, the 1A, well, they're now just circling behind the back there. Skies are blue. So a beautiful day in New York. Have you ever been to Aqueduct, Charles?
No, I have not.
I think it was Jose Ortiz that told us it was a pretty wild track in terms of like the fans. Rebecca Pollard Rhodes, thank you again for the thumbs up on Facebook. We do appreciate thumbs up on Facebook, on YouTube. Helps us with their algorithms. Helps us also if you hit the share button on YouTube. Take that link, post it to your social sites, and let your friends know about us. Help us get to 1,000, or not 1,000, 10,000 subscribers. We hope to be there by the end of next year. That would be nice. Then YouTube unlocks a few extra tools for us. All right, race number 2 about to get cooking. The chalk Charles's horse, the 3 horse is the favorite at 7-5. 5 horse is up next in line at.
But I have the 4 too, by the way.
Yeah, I have the 4 horse at 5-1. That's my top pick there. With Jose Ortiz and Linda Rice, the dynamic duo at Saratoga. Can they be a dynamic duo at Aqueduct? And then you have the 2 horse, Baby Yoda. And that horse at one time was really good. So, and it usually needs to break sharply. It looks like it didn't break sharply today. You have right now, it looks like the 3 horse is the one that wants to get to the lead. Best actor. It's one that we thought would get towards the lead. The 4 horse, Sheriff Bianco, another one we thought would be towards the front, is towards the front. But again, that's that left arrow horse that usually closes. If you remember, we talked about that in the pace setup for race number 2. Usually wants to close. Its early pace puts it right there. The horse does have its normal late pace. It in the 3 could duke it out to the end. We'll see if it can get by the 3 at a better price than Charles's chalk that he has in there. But it looks like right now the 3 horse is starting to tug away a little bit. 4 horse giving up a little bit of ground. The 6 horses to the 4s outside. Let's see if that makes a difference or not. 4 horses starting. It looks like he's trying to find some room in there. The 6 horse is pulling up alongside the 3 horse. Got his nose to the back of the tail there. A jockey on the 4 horse right in there. Jose Ortiz really holding his horse. Hasn't asked him to run. 6 horses being asked for a little bit. The question is, can they? The only question is, can the 4 catch the 3 right now, Charles? Jose made his move now. Here they come. He's made his move to the outside. Can he get by Chalk Charles's horse? I don't think he will. He's trying, though. Can he get him to go? Come on, Jose. Get those late legs. Come on, Jose. Get them late legs. Is he going to get there? I'm going to say the answer is going to be no.
Chalk and that's Charles why I said Chalk, the Chalk, 3-4.
Chalk Charles. Chalk Charles.
It came in 3-4, and that's why I put it in my pick 4. Because
it went 3-4-6. Yeah, and I just went ahead and boxed the 3-4-6. I got it. The 6 horse in there with the 10-1 odds, 3-4, with the 5 horse running out, and the 2 horse running out. That might not be a bad trifecta. Even it should pay more than $12 for 50 cents.
Yeah, but I hit it ice cold.
But you didn't play it ice cold, so it's meaningless.
That doesn't matter. I have a pick 4.
That's yeah. You got the pick 4 with a 3 to 5 on top. Good.
No,
I hope it pays more than my trifecta.
I mean, a winner's a winner. I'm sorry. I mean, I
have
can't.
You won the? You won the pick 4 already?
A winner's a winner. That's
indeed.
That's how I put it. You can't go around and try to find winners by odds because that'll never happen. That's why I'm in the 8th race. I'm a winner.
You're not a winner in the race 8. We'll find out when we get to race 8. But now we're going to try.
I mean, if I had $1 for every time you said there's no way my horse could win, I'd be at least I could go and buy it.
You'd have like maybe $1 now.
Oh my God, you have been wrong every time. But that's okay.
Every time. That's
every time.
Statistically impossible considering I'm never wrong.
No,
all right.
Yeah, you would think.
I'm going to give you a chance to get something right here, Charles. You can't screw this up. Okay. What are the conditions for race number 6?
Apparently, I don't know. The 1 mile at claiming price of $25,000, purse is $55,000. You got a 3-year-olds and upward, and that's it. That's it. Simple as that.
Easy. Yeah. All right. So race number 6. Let's talk about a 1 mile winner. The profile of a 1 mile winner does favor early speed. 21% of the time they get to the front, they stay to the front. Big rail bonus in this case for my friend's beer. Always the best one, the free one. 2 through 7 play fair. 8 and out. You are getting penalized big time in race number 6. So in race number 6, you want a little bit of inside speed, Charles. And it looks like most of it's again out to the outside, although maybe the 2 horse can compete there.
Well, it looks like on that, the 2B, which I do agree with, is going to probably be the lead at 46% chance. But there's a couple others, and like you said, you got the 1A, 23% chance, possibly even the 6. But I still think it's the 2B's race to be at the quarter pole. He'll be out there at that point. At simulation odds, we're looking at the 4. At even money, 3-1, and the 1A is the 1 and 1A, I guess. Be 3 or 4-1, and got 5-1 at morning line.
Yeah, the 1 looks like it's not. It looks like the better of the 2 entries, according to Sim, is the 1A. I just put the 1 there because you're getting both of them anyway, and I didn't format it for 1As, so I have to go back and reformat it so it comes up correctly. I can't be so lazy. C-zone, a lot of the horses to the outside, despite that outside bias, anti-bias, they look like they should be in a pace that's very comfortable with them. Let's see if they can overcome the track bias. In the 6th race, our pace setup, most of these horses want to be middle of back. So maybe the 1A and the 2B, they could benefit from that, especially if they get to the front, run modest fractions. And it does look like they'll both be in contention for the lead early on. Although minus the 10 horse, everybody's within 7 points of that front runner. So it could be pretty contentious up front there, Charles. That could open up the door to the horse with the late legs. And that's the one we saw as the big time simulated favorite. 6% has a 5-point advantage over Handsome Cat. And then as far as our total pace is concerned, those three do show up there again. The 1A of the two speed horses is the one with the best total pace. So if you want speed, maybe look at the 1A. If you want closers, look at the 4-6. Charles, we both started with the 4. You got something right.
Well, I mean, you're finally following my lead here, but winner's a winner, and my top pick is 2 for 2, and you're 1 for 2. But anyway, on the 4 here, ran third last 2 times. This one has that tactical speed, like you said. And you know what? Davis knows this horse. So I see him, riding this. He rides this horse very well. So and I think it's just setting up this race perfectly for him. He could sit there like third or fourth and just kick it in. The 2B has the speed, cuts back in distance. Trainer gets 13%, 46 plus days of rest. Rosario's aboard. So that one's going to be tough to catch. The 1A has some tactical speed, as we also saw that it could take the lead out also. But well bet last time. Cuts back in distance, and you got Jose Ortiz aboard. So look out there. And then my final and my price horse in this race would be the 6. Drops in class today. Sharp gets 18%, second after a claim. This horse will be closing. Third start after a layoff. The trainer, Sharp, also gets 19% with that angle. So, and Sharp comes, which he always does well, I should say, at Kentucky Downs. So he's coming off a really good meet there. So look out.
I'm going to start with the 4-horse 2-6, the 6%er in there, Charles. Looking at 6%, this horse, top last race speed figure, last time out by 6 points. That should be more than enough. Again, everybody's got to come up for that one, come down. Although it's been off since June 11th. So then you got to go back and look at its record. First off a layoff. It's pretty good, pretty solid record there. It has a bunch of nice workouts getting ready for that first race since the middle of June. 9-horse, Just Call Ray. It's going to get upgraded to IRAD, which is a good upgrade right in there. Going to drop in class. I think that's pretty positive in there. And this is one that should be rolling at the end, and maybe some of its numbers don't look as good because it had one really stink race in the last 3 or 4. So maybe some bettors will overlook the 9-horse, but probably not with IRAD riding, right? Then you got the entry, the 2 and the 2B. Either one of this can get the job done. I prefer the 2B in here, the entry part, 42 Ace, because this one likes the distance. 10 times out, 3 wins, 4 seconds. So we'll be competitive at a mile. And then finally, I'm going to go with the 1A horse, the 1 in the 1A. 235 has plenty of early juice, as we saw in the simulation, as well as in the pace chart in there. Rough start in its last race. It faded at the get bumped and hit and stuff like that, and probably just ran out of energy at the end of the race. The only thing was kind of quirky about this one, Charles, and I really wanted to rate it even higher than it, but if you look at those workouts since he got bumped, I'm wondering if he got hurt. You see some of these workouts in the 1A since then, right?
Well,
so you see here you got the bumped after the break, had some issues, got that fade right there, right? Trevor McCarthy. I prefer Trevor on a closer for sure. But if you look at these workouts down here, look at this. You get 3 furlongs in 40 seconds. I think I can run 3 furlongs in 40 seconds.
Yeah, but remember one thing. He got claimed last time out, and you got a new trainer and new tactics.
Mm-hmm. And then again, look at this one. You have August, 114 of 141. So, I mean, is he just walking the horse around the track?
He's scalloping, keeping him in shape. You don't need fast times. I've said it a million times.
I don't think you need fast times, but I don't think the horse should be jogging either.
He just needs to put some time workouts. You have to have a time workout after so many days. So he's just keeping the horse fit.
All right, so he's sharpening the saw. He's taking the Stephen Covey approach. All right, race number 7. Charles, we got 3 races to go. We're going to start with lucky number 7. What's going to happen here?
This is the 1.125 on turf, optional claimer of 62.5, non-winners of 2. Purse is 102,000. So we've had like 3 stakes races so far.
Yeah, nice purses today.
For 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 18,000 twice, other than maiden claiming starter, state allowance, or which have never won 3 races or optional claiming price of 62.5.
And then as far as the profile of a 1 1/8 winner on the turf course, what you want to see, well, they've only been 6 races. They've been won 50-50. 2 of the 6 went wire to wire, so you can get to the front. You can get the job done here coming out of that chute. You have a strong rail bias, so exact estimate could really find itself to be in exactly the right spot. 2 through 7, they play under par. 8 and out is fair. So it looks like you want to be inside on the rail or outside. It's like those inner horses get squeezed if they don't make that. You see this little tight turn over here? Looks like if you don't get to that tight turn right away, the outside horses really box in the middle horses. So be careful with that. As far as our pace setup is concerned, Charles, again, it doesn't really matter if you're fast or slow. So it looks like all the fast horses are to the inside. So I would think the 1, 2, and 3 are all going to try to make a dash for that turn. What do you think?
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Yeah, the 2 has got a 33% chance. I think the 1 has an excellent chance also, at 22. And and like you said, don't look at the 3 twice. I mean, it could do it too. So what the heck? Yeah, 3 of them are going to be gunning for it. It's who breaks the best, probably most likely, and that'll be your leader. When it comes to simulation odds, we have that 2 at 2 to 1, or a little slightly over 2 to 1, excuse me, and we have morning line at 10 to 1. We have the 3 slightly over even money, and we have 8 to 1 morning line. Nice overlay there. And that is it when it comes to overlays.
Yeah, in the C-Zone, you got a trio of horses in here in some shade of green. The 6 horse kind of in there too, Linda Ronstadt. But Daunt, the 4 horse, grading out pretty high on the C-Zone relative to everybody else. One quick thing, we forgot to do I had to pick 4 there, 2, 4, 9, 5, 8, 4, 5, over to 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, and 12 in that last race. So hopefully I can make it too. I did put the 5 in there. I snuck him in there, Charles, in my pick. But I'm telling you why in the next race he's not going to win. But I had to sneak him in there just in case.
Well, I wonder why.
Well, it has nothing to do with you.
No, it does. It has a lot to do with me.
It's everything to do with you.
It has everything to do with me.
So in race number 7, our race shape, we see looks like this. Everybody wants to be middle back. The 3 horse, though, it is pretty versatile, so it can go forward. So it looks like the 1, 2, and 3, as we saw on the speed chart on our simulation, those 3 should be forwardly placed. They're going to probably, again, the more we look at it, the more likely you're going to see those 3 really rip it to go to the front at that turn. But it does look like the 2 horse, the Lone E over there, Tide of the Sea, 11 points better than anybody else. So that horse is about 2 lengths faster to the quarter-mile marker. So I think the 2 horse is going to win that race to the turn there, Charles. See if that's a big enough advantage to maybe come home first. If you're going to look for the closer on the outside, Ronstadt and Alternative Reality, they're out there with that late speed, Charles. That 1 horse exact estimate. If it doesn't get the lead and all those other horses pass it, it's going to get shuffled. It's going to need that late speed to get the job done. Then as far as your total pace is concerned, we're looking at the 6, the 9, the 1, and the 2. So the 2 horse maybe with that early speed can get to the front. Maybe hold on at the end. Charles, I don't know. What do you think?
I think the 8. Because, you got a foreigner here, but it looks like on everything, this horse is dropping in class. You got a first-time Lasix. Brown gets 26%, 90-plus days of rest. You got Pratt, well-bred for everything. It looks like he just loves this distance and the whole 9 yards. So that's my top pick in this race. The 1 horse, first you got to throw out the last race, toss it. But Brown gets 23% with 46-plus days of rest. Well bet last time. This is the closer in this race. I think overall, I think the 1 he could sit much closer than the regular closers, and he'll be very dangerous at the end. And plus, you get Irad on top of that. So the 4 horse is my 3rd choice. This one has some tactical speed. Definitely probably sitting about 3rd or 4th. Drops in class today. Ran even the last 2 times. So this horse has been knocking on the door. It should be right there. And then the 5 horse ran 3rd last time. Drops in class today. Trainer gets 20% with 46-plus days of rest. And gets 20% when they take off the blinkers, which that's what we got today. But I have a feeling they're going to have to look out for this foreign invader here. So the 8.
You got an exacta box 1-8, not ice cold from Charles.
Yeah,
so you're going to go with the foreign invader in the very difficult rail position. And then a nice pick 3 in there, maybe with that 5 horse again.
Yeah.
The
You go
linchpin
with
of
that.
your
Go
day.
with
And
the
we're about to
winner.
talk about why that one's going
A
to
W
not
is a
win.
W. You take it and you move on.
You win in the advance, just like the NCAA basketball pool, right?
That's right.
Charles is an NCAA basketball betting guru. I'm going to go with the 5-horse Freedom Trail. This is so far anyway, I mean, he is the epitome of a horse for the course. He's run on Aqueduct grass twice, Charles. You know how many times he's won?
I don't know how many.
Two for two on Aqueduct grass. He's run elsewhere 5 times. He's got 1/3. So put him on Aqueduct grass or don't race him at all. Horse for the course. Number 8, Francesco Clemente. If you look at that turf breeding relative to everybody else's, which is not surprising for an English invader, way off the charts. So as far as turf breeding is concerned, this race, Francesco Clement, as you got on your top pick, if breeding is the answer, this one makes this race look easy. Number 4, Daunt, drops from a pair of graded stakes races back to a level where the last 2 times he ran there, he missed by a neck and by a half a length from winning them. So this should be the right spot for Daunt. Then finally, the 2-horse, Tide of the Sea. Too big of an early pace advantage to overlook this horse. Going to get to that turn first. Maybe all those other horses coming around that sharp bend bump into each other, give it a little bit of extra room. Pretty strong overlay as well, along with the pretty decent C-zone score. Too much to overlook. I'm going to do a 50-cent try box with the 2, 4, 5, and 8. And I hope it goes 2 and then something else behind it, because that one will be the longest odds. All right, Charles, the moment everybody's been waiting for, the why your 5-horse won't win. Race number 7, you like the 3 to win, Christopher D'Souza. He wants Good Skate to get the job done. That overlay, it's going to put it with the 1 and the 4 in an exacta box. Charles, let's go on to the conditions in race number 8. Oh, that's not what we want there. We want this. Race number 8. We already talked about Delaware Park being the free track in the description down below. So make sure you go ahead and hit that if you're playing Delaware today. Race number 8, Charles, what's going on where your 5-horse will get beat?
Okay, it's a 6 furlong contest. It's a state optional claimer of 45,000, non-winners of 2. Purse is $85,000. This is for 3-year-olds and upward, which were foaled in the state of New York. And it's,
New York Reds.
And it's been this. They made this race exactly just for the 5. I just read that.
It should just say that only the 5 should enter this race. All the rest should scratch.
Yeah, I think that's what it said. So,
and I think that would be appropriate. The 8 in the 6 furlong type race at Aqueduct against speed is the way to go here. 30% of the time they go wire to wire. There's an inside 3 penalty. So 1, 2, and 3, they could struggle. 4, 5, 4 and out. All of it gets a minor bonus. They probably win at about 20% higher rate than they should. Charles, in race number 8, our simulations tell you what?
Well, that the 2 will get the lead at 42% chance. The 4 at 24%. And then, of course, the 5 sitting there with 12. I do see the 2 taking the lead in this race. Mm-hmm. But I do see the 5 sitting probably right around 3rd and destroying them.
Destroying them. Whoop day asses. All right. So you got a lot of dark green in here, so everybody should be pretty comfortable in this.
Yeah, look at the simulation odds though too. The 4, and it's just slightly under 3 to 1. We have 3.5 to 1 morning line. The 5 should be at a little over even money, and we have slightly over 2 to 1 on the morning line, and that's all we have on the odds.
All right, so let's look at the race shape here. For Charles's lock of the day, that 5-horse. So he is a versatile horse. So you got to like that in the PC column. The 4-horse is your lone E-horse in here. Charles, can he get to the lead? I don't know if he gets to the lead, but he certainly could be competitive for the lead. Not much of a difference in there. Your 5-horse could be a step or 2 in front of him, Charles. Look out. And then the 2 and 6 are versatile types. So don't lose, cuz could be pretty comfortable where it's racing early on, although it's late pace says, maybe not so much. Speaking of late pace, the Brew Pub and Big Engine in Z-Bar, those 3 do have the most late speed. Although your horse in here, Perfect Munnings, most of them are pretty competitive in here, Charles, though these 2 have a pretty good gap over the rest. They also grade out as your top total pace horses in here. In a race that's pretty wide open, Charles, only 10 points separating top to bottom, 2 lengths. A bump here, a bad step there, 2 lengths will be not that much of a difference. All right, now's the time to talk about why you think the 5 is going to get locked today.
This race 100% sets it up for the 5. The 5, there's plenty of speed in here for the 5 to sit right off the second or third. The 5 will take over the lead, go the turn for home, and he'll be in that spot. And those closers are going to be too far back, I believe. And good luck trying to catch the 5 at the end, especially in a 6 furlong contest. If it was 6.5, maybe a little different story. Steve Ashmanson bought this horse himself from Linda Rice. Linda Rice got the horse from Todd Pletcher. She dropped the horse probably a little too low in a claiming price because she was trying to win a trainer's title at Saratoga, and she got caught with that because 14 lengths win in that race. That's a little too good for that race. So Steve got lucky enough to get that claim. And Steve gets 19% first after a claim, second start after a layoff. He also gets 19%.
Well, a lot of 19s.
The 4 is my second choice. Drops in class today. Trainer gets 16% when he takes him from a route to a sprint. Does have some tactical speed. We'll try to make one run at the end. The 2 is probably most likely your leader. The speed drops in class, but ran even last time out. Irad. And they take the blinkers off. So once he sees that 5, he's going to freak out. And they wish they probably had the blinkers back on. And then the 6 is my final choice. Well bet last time. And ran third last time. Cuts back in distance. And second start after a layoff. And the trainer gets 19% with that light.
And a quarter of your budget on the 5. All right, let's talk about.
Well, more than a quarter of my budget. I have pick 3s, pick 5s. So pretty much my entire budget lies on the 5.
All right. So let's talk about the 4 horse in here first. That's the one that I'm going to go with. Mariachi. Last time out, that horse went long for the very first time. And in the course of going long for the very first time, really upped its speed, its early pace numbers pretty dramatically. Now the horse is going to cut back to 6 furlongs again. That's your angle, Charles. Go long, go fast, and then cut back. You'll go even faster this time around. Perfect Munnings. Yes, indeed. That one is the 3-2 overlay in there. It is definitely the one that I think is going to get pounded at the window. Another chalk Charles selection for the day. But this one's going to bounce, Charles. This is what's going to happen. Came off the bench. So you see here, the last race before it got claimed was way back in December, right? So it took 8 months off before it came back. When it came back, it ran a 105. Did rush a field by 14 lengths.
That was a nice workout, by the way.
Yeah, nice work. It was a good workout.
No. The race is a nice workout.
Yeah, I'm saying it was a nice workout. I was saying it was a nice workout for the horse. But again, if you look in the previous time the horse put up a peak number, it regressed pretty handsomely the second time out. And as I mentioned in this book, I've learned one thing so far, that plus 3-point advantage is one that does really well for you on the speed figure. And this horse definitely qualifies that way. But the second thing that I learned in here that I think is equally important is when a horse comes off the bench, which this horse did, after more than 5 months in the barn, a lot of data to back this up. So from December to August, definitely qualifies. That's 8-9 months in the barn. And then runs its peak race number or a peak race number, one of its best, in this case, the absolute best for this horse. They almost always, very rarely, do they not bounce and regress badly in the next race.
Okay, so the last time he had a peak performance, you said he regressed, correct?
Yeah, he went from 101 to 87.
And that's in that book. But did the book say that if you're moving up in class to a stakes race and you regress to a third place finish and you have an 87, you're going from 100 to an 87? Does it say anything about that? I'm going to have a say no. It only says
I don't think it got that granular.
See, you only read what you wanted to read on that. You got to finish.
I mean, you have a study, thousands of horses.
It's a study when it goes to the same race. It's not when you move up in class. I mean,
it has nothing to do with class or anything like that. It's just basically you have a 5-month rest or more than 5 months. Come out, you run a peak number. And then when they just look back at every horse after that, and it's not something that was like at claiming level or at stakes level. In fact, the farther down the track you go, like the more likely it's to happen. But nonetheless, even at the highest levels, horses have that big regression. If he had been off for a month or two and came back and ran that big number, but that 5-month break is the cut line, the horse is going to regress in this race. I assure you. Whether he wins or not is another story, because he's got a lot of room to regress and other ones catch it. But just remember that, folks, when you're
he runs an 80 in this race, but wins.
He won't run an 80 and win.
Well, I'm just saying as a number. We're throwing out numbers. Doesn't matter what he runs. If he wins, he wins. That's all the whole. That's the whole point here. And
right. When you're handicapped,
you go from a stakes race and you drop into a 25,000 claimer, 9 times out of 10, that says A, that I'm super hurt. Now B, she was trying to win a trainer's title. Mm-hmm. And so she gets the horse and she says, I'm going to drop it in a claiming. The owners give her permission. She drops it too low. She did win, of course, duh, but she won so easy that basically that horse belongs at another level, if not 2 levels higher than what it was at. So
I don't have any question about that, Charles, at all.
So 2 levels higher.
But I think another thing in here that you have to kind of look at too is if the horse was a stakes level race, why is Rasmussen putting him in a claim off of that big? He's expecting a bounce too. All right, here we go. Race number 9, the last
claim.
The last race of the day. Well, we'll find out when we get there. Just keep that in mind, folks. It may not work on the 5 today, but
what do you mean now? No, don't change.
Well, there's no universal like angle in horse racing. If there were,
just say
that horse would be 1-9 every time. What I'm saying to you is,
say it.
The history and the numbers say if a horse has a 5-month break, comes back and runs a peak speed number, they're going to bounce in the next race. That's the math. All right.
I'm not dancing around.
What are the conditions in race number 9? Go ahead. But we'll find out when we get there, Charles. If it bounces, you'll never forget that angle. But go ahead.
Oh no, it just was a drop in class. It's not a drop in angle.
There you go. What's going on in 9th race?
I don't know. You didn't even finish your picks.
Oh, I didn't finish my picks.
You were so busy trying to tell
me. I got the 6 horse next in race number 8. I have the 6 horse as my 3rd pick in race number 8. Radio Red moved forward in both of his starts after second starts on a layoff. And last race was much better than the finish. The fractions were a little bit quicker. Finally, Big Engine, the 8 horse for the course, 19 times, 6 wins, 3 seconds, 2/3. Just 5 wins when he ran 24 times elsewhere. I'm going to play the 4 horse on the bounce back. $1 double. 4 if it wins. I have a winner because I'm going all in the back end of my double, Charles. All right, so race number 3, is it about to get started? We got 1 minute to go. Let's prep race number 9 because I did finish my picks there for race number 8. What you got?
Okay, race number 3. We got a mile and a 16th outer turf, maiden claiming of 40,000. The purse is for 43,000. This is for maidens 3-year-olds and upward, which was foaled in New York State.
All right, and then as far as mile and a 16th on the outer turf, they ran 8 races. Tactical Speed does well. So you want to be about 3rd or 4th usually, although 2 of the 8 times the horse that took the lead got the checkered flag. Very strong rail bones for Simona Beach, although the odds don't say it'll be able to take advantage of it. 2 through 3 play fair. 4 through 7, you get a bonus. Anything plus 8 or out in those 8 races, none of them managed to get their photo taken in the winner's circle. So it looks like you want to not be on the outside, Charles. A little bit of tactical speed. So in race number 9, who's on the outside with a little bit of tactical speed? Where is race number 9?
Well, you got to put the race up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the way over here. How did I go over there? There we go. Race 9.
What happened there?
Okay,
knows? That's weird.
It happens every now and then. Those sheets can get sticky when you click on them.
And just drag it.
It drags.
The number 1 race, the horse number 1 that has the best chance at the lead at the quarter pole, 32% chance. But there is plenty of speed in this race. I really do think so. You got the 3 that could take the lead, honestly, and the 12. And there's a couple others that could even do a little damage, possibly even that 8, but that go on the lead itself. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 4 at 5-1. We have a 10-1 morning line, and then we have the 12 at just almost 3-1, and we have 5-1 morning line.
Yeah, the 12 horse, not only with that, but a really strong, one of the strongest C zones. And you got the strong C zone on the one. Maybe the rail's the problem. We'll do the pace setup in just a moment because race number 2, they're about to get cooking. Charles has the 3 horse in this race. And this one, the 3 horse right now in race number 3 is there you go, 10-1. Is this race 3? No, that's race.
No. There you go.
You got the 6 horse. 9-1 on Cut the Cord.
I have the 6 and the 7.
And the 6 horse blasting out to the front. Charles said, to his credit, that the 6 horse would be the one that blasts out to the front. My 4 horse is up there challenging him, going about 48,000 miles wide to get that lead. And now I'd really hate when jockeys do this on that 4 horse. I don't know. I know Joel Rosario is a phenomenal jockey, no question about it. But sometimes I wonder a little bit about the clock in his head, if it's kind of sped up a little bit, because he's pushed a lot of horses up front with a lot of pace. It seems to me that maybe he's a little bit better coming off the pace. Opening quarter in 24. I hope he can stay up there. I don't know that he will. The 2 horse is on the rail. Your 6 horse, Charles, sitting right behind the 4 horse. Then you got the 7 horse to the outside, and then the 5 trying to squeeze up between the ranks there as they go through the opening half in 48 and 36. So he ran a 24.3 or 24.4. He slowed it down a little bit. So you can go 24-20. The 2 horse, if you got that one, sorry, folks, he ain't going to do much. It does look to me like right now the 7 horse is going to go by the 6. It's saying the 6 horses race could be over. The 4 horse, Joel Rosario, still going well. They haven't asked him really to run much, although the other horses, particularly the 7, is closing in on him. Here comes the 5 horse right now. He's getting in the mix. The 4 horse still on the lead there, Charles.
Yeah, I think he's in trouble.
He hasn't cracked him with the whip yet, though. So let's see if he can hang on. He is starting to. Yeah, I don't know. He went down to the rail. I think the 5 horse is going to win. The 7 horse is going to come in behind him. Yeah, I see. Like I said, I hate when jockeys do that. I don't understand for the life of me. Your 6 horse getting its second win, Charles. I hope for you that he wins, but I don't think he's going to. 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7.
He tried.
That was an interesting race from the 6 horse in there. Who rode the 6 horse in there? Kendrick Carmouche?
Well, the thing is, the horse never changed leads until halfway down the stretch.
Well, I still think it was a smart ride because Kendrick likes to be up on the front, and he let that 4 horse go. And I don't understand for the life of me, and I really don't understand why jockeys do that. And I can't understand it to this day. I'm not criticizing Joel Rosario. He's a Hall of Famer. But I am criticizing him in this race because it doesn't make sense, right, to go out like that, in my opinion.
And the 6 did change leads about almost 3/4 down the lane. Finally changed leads.
I wonder if the 5 horse in there, looking at Roses with Irad on there, if Irad felt like he had that race and didn't really need to do more. I don't know. But I just don't understand, why do you go to the lead in 24? You don't need to do that. Right? Why do you go up? No, I agree with you. I do not understand why jockeys do that. Why do you need a 3-length lead? What's wrong with a 1-length lead? You know what I mean?
Well, it happens.
It does. All right. So any case, let's go to race number 9. Let's talk a little bit about the race shape in race number 9. Everybody, look at all these horses here, Charles, in this meeting, claiming the 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Half of the field. Close to half of the field has not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line. The 3, 4, and 9, they want to close. So the 10, 11, and 12, those 3 outside horses, they show a ton of speed or relative to the rest of the field. If any of them are going to be out in the front like that, they got a pretty good chance to maybe finish up this race up front. 6 horse, that's my Boxer, one of those horses that hasn't been able to finish within 5 lengths of the lead, although it does have some good late pace in there. So I think his fortunes will likely change today. The 1 and the 12, well, the 1 has faded. So the 12 of the front runners might be the one that you want to keep your eye on if you want to play a wire-to-wire type. Late speed does belong to that 6 horse. That's my Boxer. So you can't pass what you can't catch, Charles. So maybe that horse will finish within 5 lengths of the leader today. Total pace number does go to the, if you put it right side up, Richard, that's my Boxer, the 6 horse, 10 points better than anybody else. I'm going to say that horse will finish better than 5 lengths from the winner today. May not win the race, Charles, but he's got every chance to get the W in here. What do you think?
Yeah, remember they're maidens, so
Well, anything can happen.
I know. I don't trust that 6 at all. Matter of
Okay.
fact, he's shown too many times that he likes to quit, so I stayed away from him. The 9, Sharp gets 21% when he takes him from dirt to turf. You got a hot, like I said, he's hot, so he's been a hot trainer for the last 14 days. This horse has got some tactical speed, and guess what? You got IRAD aboard. So I think the 9 has got a lot of great things going for it in this race. And then the 11 horse. First, you got to toss out the last race. If you do, this horse's second start after layoff, Belmont gets 20% with that angle, and plus.
So I'm curious, Charles. I hear a lot of people say you have to toss out a race. So what are your conditions or your criteria to toss out a race?
Well, I mean, if you see that they've been running very consistent before, like you look at this horse, he ran even the first time he ever ran, 4th all the way around. Then he took the lead the second time out and just gave away at the end. And then the third time, he pretty much was on the lead, or he was sitting second, pushing it all the way. And then all of a sudden, the last race looks like it didn't break well and just was sitting way too far back. You had a jockey change on him. You're getting back your jockey back. So that's why I say toss that race.
I think too, looking at Christophe Clement here too, when you're looking at the trainer patterns. So you look back here in his opener, like you said, started out on dirt, right? And the opener, boom. And then look at that, 4th by 23. Then he started out on, well, he was going to run on the dirt, on the turf, but he got taken off the turf. That's that X means. And he doesn't, apparently that horse runs on the dirt. He's going to finish 23 lengths behind everybody else. So that's a bet next time. If this horse runs on dirt, bet that it'll finish 23 lengths off the lead.
Yeah, but if it was consistently every race, even on turf and all, he was running pretty bad, then no, you don't toss out the last, because that's his pattern.
Yeah. So going back to the turf right here, and you saw that big improvement last time out. All right. So I could see tossing that one. And again, I like Trevor on horses that have some ability to close, and it looked like he tried to close him here. And you can run back to that race. You would be wise for tossing that last one. All right. Sorry to interrupt you, Charles. Just kind of wanted some clarification on what you're looking for.
Yeah. And so anyway, that's my second choice. The 3, this is an interesting horse here. This horse drops in class. It ran 3rd at this level, and Henning gets 14% as a trainer right now, and he's much better than that percentage says. He's a great trainer. He just doesn't have many, probably not the high quality horses that he used to get. I know he's getting up there, and I don't know, pretty close to 1,500 wins, I think. But anyway, I think that horse is going to show a lot more ability in this race. The 2 is another one that's coming from the Henning barn. This one, another one that drops in class. It was well bet last time out. Henning gets 12% when he rests them up 46 plus days. Plus that 2 is also bred for the turf. So you're getting a couple of things out. They bet the horse last time out when it was not even on its favorite surface. And then it's bred for turf. So.
Finally, for me today, number 6. That's my boxer. I'm going to go ahead with that horse that has a top early pace, top late pace, top 10 total pace figure. Nice August and late July workouts, getting prepped for his first race after some time on the barn. And if he's ready, I think he could score this one at a good price. I'm kind of surprised David Aragona has him at 15-1 morning line odds. Atlanta's Acuna, hell of a baseball player, maybe a hell of a horse today. Wanted to rank this one actually number 1, but that post position 12, 8 and out, not winning is concerning. Otherwise, this is our good friend Christopher Parmalou's angle. The horse just finished second after giving up the lead late last time out. Just needs to beat one horse today. Number 9, Zapruder. Bullet workout on September the 3rd. Says this horse is ready to go, Charles. Your top pick, and upgrades to Irad Ortiz. And he won't let anybody pass him down the lane, especially in New York. He didn't really try much of that stuff in Kentucky for whatever reason. Anyway. And then finally, number 2, Charming Jim. If it had been Charming Charles, it would have been your top pick for sure.
Of course, duh.
But it is the only pure maiden special weight dropper in the field, and its debut really didn't go over that well. We'll see if the drop in class and getting first-time Lasix works out. That last workout was pretty good, and in that opening run in the debut, it did show some early ability and then just faded. So I'd say the opening ability, the fade, that tells me the horse probably bled. That's why it's getting Lasix. Maybe it can get that opening jump again today and have a little bit more durability at the end of the race. 6, 9, 12, 6, 12, 2, 6, 9, 10, and 12 for me on the late trifecta. All right, Mr. Charles. Here are our full picks for the day. In race number 1, the 4-horse got the job done. In race number 2, the 3-horse got the job done. Charles going 2 for 2 there. And then in race number 3, the 5-horse got the W there. So I have a winner in all of my picks so far, Charles. But the race of the day is going to be race number 8, no matter what. Will the 5 bounce, or will he go on to make Charles make a fool of me today?
Like always. I usually do all the time. So, hey, what's the way it is?
Yeah, that's the way.
That's what we're here as a team. I make a fool of you when you say stuff like that. So,
well, I have to.
I know you missed that last week.
I have to just put out there the facts, Charles, the data, the stuff that I read, and I figure, I share what I learn along the way. That's something, when I see statistics that say like 90% of the time those horses bounce, there is a 10% chance it doesn't bounce. And in that 10% chance it doesn't bounce, the 5-horse gets the win. But 90% of the time, I'm going to be right. Anyway, that wraps it up for today. Tomorrow, Thomas and I will be back for Foreign Friday. We will do Caulfield. I think Caulfield, if I remember correctly, is in the Land Down Under. So we'll be doing that. That should be fun. I always like those Australian races. Typically, the grass is wet down there, too. This time of year is their spring, so I'd imagine there's a good chance it'll be spring down there as well. So maybe some damp courses, damp conditions. Usually get some nice prices down there. Tune in for that. It should be around 1 p.m. Eastern. You'll find all of that information on our social sites. You see them down there below. Horse Race, the number 2 day. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Threads. And, of course, while you're on Horse Racing Radar TV, kindly hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And make sure you check out Guaranteed Tip Sheets picks for Delaware Park today. Come back tomorrow, and we will have up the Pennsylvania Derby wagering guide. All right, Charles, any final thoughts from you before we get out of here and both of us keenly watch race number 8?
I don't even have to watch it. I could take a nap and just count my money afterwards. But no, everyone just let's be safe out there. It looks like we're having some good weather, but fall is coming. So let's all take advantage of these turf races while we can. So that's what I'm looking forward to is all weekend is just betting turf horses because it's not going to last much longer.
Well, we'll see if, we just have to take our attention down under then where it's a little bit warmer for turf racing. All right, Charles, until you and I get together again next Wednesday, tomorrow, we hopefully that between here and there or Monday, whatever it is that you're doing, join us again for Tom and I for Foreign Fridays. We certainly hope you have all of God's blessings and that no matter what you do today, the 4-horse ends up in the...
No, the 5-horse will be an easy winner.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. Have a fantastic day. Hope everything ends up in the winner's circle for you today. We'll see you tomorrow.